Under-hood noise can be annoying to the customer and frustrating to the technician. Maybe it's a chirp from under the hood on cold mornings or a growl heard during turns. Accessory drive noise represents a challenge. Misdiagnosis and the resulting unnecessary parts replacement affect both the technician and the customer. This video will cover related accessory drive systems and their components. You'll see the level of customer communication and analysis required to diagnose and correct the cause of a noise condition, and know how to isolate accessory noise from other underhood noise sources. There should be several tech tips to help you satisfy customers. There are quite a few types of accessory drive noise that are normal. Generator brush noise, for example, is a squeak that can be heard when manually spinning the generator by hand. It is typically not heard on the vehicle, since an increase in RPM usually eliminates the noise at the brush interface. Another type of normal noise is radio frequency interference. It is static, typically emitted by improper or damaged wiring for a speaker, radio, or phone. It can also occur as a popping sound in the ignition system. The fan makes a whirl sound that is usually completely normal. Owners of diesel engine vehicles may report a single chirp after the engine is shut off. This is caused by a rubber-isolated crankshaft pulley and is normal. One of the most common normal accessory drive noises is power steering pump hiss. It is usually heard when the steering wheel is at the end of travel or at standstill parking. This results from high-velocity fluid passing valve orifice edges and does not affect steering performance. Now let's move on to the strategy for diagnosing accessory drive noise. Before a correct diagnosis can be made, you have to know what you're looking for. There are several pre-diagnostic steps that must be followed in order to narrow down the type of noise and when it occurs. The most important thing you should do, even before you look at the vehicle, is obtain detailed information from the customer. Without this, you could waste a lot of time, energy, and parts diagnosing everything but the customer's specific concern. A test drive with the customer may be appropriate to duplicate and specifically understand the condition. With reliable and accurate information from the customer in hand, review service bulletins for similar complaints. These may give you a better, or if you're lucky, an exact view of what you're dealing with. Before performing any tests on the vehicle, be sure to follow all published safety precautions. Make sure you're not wearing anything dangling that could get caught in the fan or other components, such as ties or jewelry. It's a good idea to perform your tests in a quiet, designated area, where shop noises won't mask the noise being investigated. Conduct a detailed visual inspection of the belt, checking for wear patterns and rub spots. Also, check hoses for leaks, rubs, and proper hold-downs. Witness marks or any other obvious damage. Try to reproduce the noise complaint by turning on accessories and/or the air conditioning to see if the noise is magnified or reduced. Turn the steering wheel to the end of travel in both directions. You want to make sure the noise isn't part of normal operating conditions. Once you've reproduced the noise, you're ready to perform more specific diagnostics to isolate the source of the noise complaint. There are several steps for determining more specific engine noise, whether it be a squeak, rattle, groan, etc. First, determine the conditions under which the noise exists. Examine when it occurs, in what climate, and at what specific engine or travel speed. Determine rate and origin by looking for what the noise relates to. For example, engine noises are usually synchronized to crankshaft, connecting rod or piston speed, or one-half engine speed, such as valve train noises. To determine the rate, install a timing light to the vehicle and compare the number of times the sound is heard per the flashes of the timing light. Furthermore, be aware that the mechanical failures or rubs of one component can be resonated through another component, often resulting in misdiagnosis. As explained, a noise can have many origins. It's extremely important to gather information from the customer and perform pre-diagnostics to determine the type of noise. When investigating the belt and brackets, realize that the drive belt routes through several components, including the generator, AC compressor, idler, crankshaft, fan, and power steering pump. An imbalance of the rotor fan pulley system can cause a resonance in other engine components and mounting brackets at higher speeds. Belt chirp, on the other hand, is a high-pitched noise usually heard only once per revolution of a pulley or belt. Usually heard at idle, it is most frequent on cold, damp mornings. It is also typically noticeable during a full turn and standstill parking. Squirting water onto a chirping belt will temporarily eliminate the noise. Possible causes of belt chirp include misalignment of pulleys, a bent pulley flange, bad tensioner, loose or worn belt, or severe belt pilling. Possible diagnosis includes checking pulley alignment. Use a breaker bar or other smooth-handled object on the span going into each accessory pulley until the noise stops. Be sure to carefully push both ways. Or, with the belt in position, try loosening the mounting bolts on the accessory and let it shift to a neutral position in the bracket. If this is unsuccessful, shift the bracket if possible. Sometimes the cause can be obvious. Replace any bent or cracked brackets and retorque. Replace and retorque any loose or missing fasteners. Inspect and replace a damaged pulley or belt as necessary. Above all, always follow published mounting and fastener tightening procedures. Belt squeal is a low screeching noise that usually occurs under heavy belt load, such as compressor engagement or engine acceleration. Belt whine is a high-pitched continuous noise. Various causes include insufficient tension on the belt resulting from incorrect belt length, a malfunctioning tensioner, incorrect drive belt routing, as well as tight or worn bearings. To diagnose, check the belt and pulleys for damage and make sure the tensioner operates smoothly. Correct drive belt routing, or replace the belt, tensioner pulley, or bearings as necessary. Use the vehicle label to ensure the belt is routed correctly. Belt rumble is a low-pitched noise that occurs once per revolution of the belt. Rumble is usually caused by severe belt pilling. Pilling typically results in an accumulation of rubber dust in the bottom of the belt grooves. While a small amount of pilling is normal, a problem occurs if buildup exceeds 1/3 of belt groove depth. If severe pilling is evident, replace the belt and check all pulley grooves for belt particles. Belt tensioner rattle can be identified with a stethoscope. Confirm this by stabilizing the tensioner using a wrench on the rotating arm to verify the source. If confirmed, replace the tensioner. Bearing noises are grinding caused by bearing damage. Listen at each bearing area with a stethoscope to find if the bearing or the pulley is the source of noise. Replace the pulley or part as necessary. Bearing hoot is caused by an undamaged smooth bearing. Identify it with a stethoscope as well and replace any parts as needed. The generator may produce several types of mechanical noises. Bearing growl or moan can either be constant or sporadic. Generator noise may initially appear to originate from the power steering pump, but may actually signal a failed bearing in the generator. According to Corporate Bulletin 463-201, you can verify the source of the noise on ST and small block CK applications. First, isolate the power steering pump from the generator by installing a 3.4-liter 1993 or 1994 Camaro Firebird accessory drive belt. Then, run the engine and listen for noise. Do not drive the vehicle with this belt attached. If necessary, replace the failed component and recheck. Generator brush noise is a high-pitched mechanical ticking at low speeds that could be caused by internal defects requiring unit replacement. Generators may also produce magnetic noises. Normal electromagnetic whine is caused by a heavily loaded generator. The energized generator creates rotating magnetic forces resulting in mechanical vibrations and added noise. The frequency occurs at the rate at which rotor segments pass stator slots. An internal electrical failure can cause noise and make it become more like a growl. This can be confirmed by unplugging the generator's 4-pin connector to stop the noise. But remember, a small amount of noise is expected. So compare it to a known good vehicle. If necessary, replace the generator and recheck. Generator rotor or fan rub is similar to magnetic noise. Frequency and magnitude depend on contact area and force. Rotor or fan rub can often be corrected without replacing the generator. Realignment or reduction of excessive belt loads may be sufficient. Objectionable noise may also occur due to operation of the AC compressor. This can be a function of both speed and discharge suction pressure. While many of the bearing and pulley tips mentioned earlier apply to the AC compressor, remember that condensing capacity and condenser airflow must be adequate to maintain the recommended pressure level. The power steering system can create noises as well, but be sure to separate pump noise from steering gear-created noises. Regarding hiss, realize some power steering pump hiss is normal. But if extremely objectionable, replace the valve. But remember that the replacement valve may also exhibit a slight hiss. Also, check the clearance around flexible couplings. Ensure that they are not distorted. Metal-to-metal contacts through the flexible coupling will generate hiss through the steering column. Steering pump rattle, or knock, is heard when the engine is running. It may be caused by pump vanes sticking in rotor slots, or the pressure hose in contact with other parts of the vehicle. If it's the pump, use a new ring, rotor, and vane service kit. Or if necessary, adjust pressure hose position. Steering pump growl occurs while turning or during lack of assist. It could be due to excessive back pressure in the hoses or steering gear, which is caused by a restriction or high internal pump leakage. It is typically accompanied by a surging or jerking of the steering wheel. Growl that is especially noticeable at standstill parking is generally caused by scored pressure plates, thrust plate or rotor, or extreme wear of the cam ring. To diagnose, inspect the hoses for a restriction. Check for scored pressure plates, thrust plate, or rotor. Also, examine the cam ring for excessive wear or damage. For service, correct the restriction and/or replace parts as necessary. Then, flush and bleed the system. Also, check the pressure hose connection. Tighten it to the specified torque and bleed the system. Properly bleeding the system is critical following any break in the power steering system. With the ignition off, raise the front wheels off the ground. Then, turn the steering wheel full left. Fill the reservoir to full cold and leave the cap off. Then, have an assistant monitor fluid level and condition while you turn the steering wheel lock to lock at least 20 times. On vehicles with longer return lines or a fluid cooler, 40 lock-to-lock turns are recommended. This is all done with the engine off. Any trapped air may cause an overflow, and spilled fluid should be thoroughly cleaned up. Fluid level must be kept at full cold, and any bubbles mean connections should be checked for leaks. If everything's okay, start the engine and let it idle. Return the wheels to center and lower the vehicle's front. After 2 minutes, turn the steering wheel in both directions. Verify smooth assist, noiseless operation, and proper fluid level. Also, make sure there are no leaks and that the fluid is free of bubbles, foam, and discoloration. Another noise, steering pump swish, is heard while turning and is possibly due to a faulty flow control valve. Inspect and replace a faulty flow control valve if needed. Steering pump whine is heard while the engine is running. Ensure the noise is not caused by a faulty generator. Do this by isolating the power steering pump from the generator using an accessory drive belt as shown earlier. Inspect the pump shaft bushing for scoring and replace the housing and shaft. Then, flush and bleed the system. Always remember that service bulletins often contain additional information not found in the service manual. It's important to review service bulletins for similar complaints and compare them to the customer's concern. Use the available service documentation and gather all the information possible from the customer. Your primary strategy is to perform pre-diagnostic tests to lead you to more specific diagnosis and noise isolation. And always check your work. To obtain customer enthusiasm on every service visit, fix it right the first time.